Hello, everyone. Happy Mondays, first of all. I'm sorry we're late. I know we said 5 o'clock, but something I was panicking there because something happened with my Yahoo account, and I couldn't send the link to our guest. But it's all sorted now. We're okay. So yeah, it's a brand new week. Normally we do it on a Sunday, which is like the end of the week, but this time we're doing Ask the Drummer, which is beginning of the week, which is good. Starting the week right, talking to an awesome drummer. It's now gone 18 minutes past 5 in the UK, in 5 in the afternoon, which means it's 18 minutes past midnight in Manila. Hopefully, some of you, my dear friends, are still up, watching us, joining us live. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Drummer. Today's guest is actually, I'm really looking forward to talking to him because his band, my colleague at King B, is one of their biggest fans. He really loves this band. And I got to see them beginning of the year in March this year, and they're absolutely amazing. And I asked him if he would be interested to go and ask the drummer, and luckily he said yes. So he's here now, coming to us live from California, from the Bay Area, I must say. So please welcome my dear friends. It's Keith Frerichs. Yay!
Hey everybody!
I got your
Thanks for
name
having
right,
me.
Frerichs.
Frerichs, yeah.
How
It's
are
a tricky
you?
one.
Yeah. How are you, Keith?
I'm good. Yeah. It's an early morning here, 9 a.m. It's early for me.
It's
You
like
know,
9:30, I believe, where you are.
I worked yesterday morning, but I normally do work at night. Yeah, I just work in a restaurant, so
Yeah.
um, yeah. So
Well,
it's
thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying yes to Ask the Drummer and waking
hell
up
yeah,
early.
yeah. Thank you for having me, and yeah, thanks for being flexible.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, I'm just really glad, that you said yes to Ask the Drummer. I mean, I
Of
mentioned
course.
earlier about my colleague at King B. I work in a record shop, King B
Awesome.
Records it's called, and my colleague Mike, he's a big fan of the Umbrellas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's the one who actually told me to go and see you. But
Oh, that's so rad.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
um, I think well, he's probably on his way home now, cycling back to his home. So he'll probably
Gotcha.
just catch up. When I upload this on YouTube, he'll go and sort of like watch it.
Cool.
Also, another person who told me about the Umbrellas, your band, is Arthur Robinson, who's the drummer of Autocampa.
Yeah, love that Arthur. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's
Such a
like
good
he
dude, definitely. And a really good drummer.
Yeah, well, he said that the well, his band Autocampa formed after seeing the Umbrellas.
Yeah, that was the first time we were in Manchester. And yeah, they met, they didn't know each other, and then they met at our show. And then we were just like, you guys should start a band. And then they
Just
did.
like that, yeah, just
Yeah.
like that. Start a band.
Yeah. And we got to play with them on the a couple shows on the last tour in the UK, and it was
Yeah.
super fun. Yeah,
Oh, that's brilliant.
yeah, those guys are great.
Not in
What's that?
because not in Manchester, because in Manchester the support
No,
bands were Oh Hippo and Mumbles. I
that's
remember
right.
that.
Yeah, not in Manchester. We only did 2 shows with them.
Yeah.
Um, I wish it was more. Maybe next time.
Well, before we actually start, I just want to sort of like give a shout out to Jack Harkins'
Yeah.
mom, because it's her birthday today. So happy birthday, Alana. I
Oh,
don't,
happy birthday!
yeah. um, I
Yeah,
don't know if Jack's watching, but please tell your mom a very, very happy birthday from us, from me and Keith. So
happy
yeah, there
birthday!
you go.
Another
Anyways,
rotation around the sun.
so welcome to Ask the Drummer.
Thank you.
Episode 139 is all about you. Sorry about that. No, but it's like so it's all about you, Keith Frerichs. So
Hey.
where are the Frerichs from? Because I don't know if I'm right, but it sounds a bit so like Germanic to me. Or is it? Am I right?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Frerichs is definitely a German name.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my my great grandparents came over from Germany in like the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Right. But you
And
were born in is it California or somewhere in California?
yeah, I grew up in Southern California, in Orange County, California.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, both my parents grew up in LA. So they're both LA kids. Um, and and then they moved to Orange County, and then that's where I came in. You know?
Yeah. Am I right saying it's Bay Area? Because I'm not really very familiar with this.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess,
no worries. Well, right now I live in San Francisco, so yeah, definitely Bay Area.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good. But according to Google,
yeah,
it's you're from Mission Viejo. Is that right?
Y- yeah.
Mission.
Mission Viejo. Yeah, that's a town in Southern California. That's where I grew
Yeah.
up. Yeah, and then about 9 years ago, I moved up to San Francisco. So I've been here for a little bit now.
Yeah. What's it like growing up in Mission Viejo?
I mean, it's a really good place to grow up. But as you get older, there's not much to do for young people, I would say. So I think that's kind of where music came in for me, is really like, you really had to get creative. So I started a band when I was like 13, 12 or 13. Um, and yeah, uh, I think, let's see.
Do you have like music venues, and is there a
Not
music scene in Mission Viejo?
not really. Not
No.
really. Yeah. The first show I ever played was at a skate park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called Eddie's Skate Park, and they had shows there, and besides that, there weren't many places to play for like underage kids, underage bands.
Yeah.
I mean, even 21 and up places, there weren't a whole lot. So definitely like house shows were important. Definitely like DIY underground stuff
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, as
and
opposed to, I mean, San Francisco, that's really like a music city, isn't it?
definitely,
It's like,
definitely,
and then
yeah.
there are so many songs, that mention San Francisco.
I know that are just about San Francisco. I know. Yeah, not too many songs about Mission Viejo.
You know?
But maybe I'll change. Maybe I'll have to change that.
Yeah. Maybe the Umbrellas will write something about Mission Viejo. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
That'd be good.
are you from a musical family?
Definitely. Yeah. My uncle Andy, used to be in a band. He used to be in a lot of bands. And he was a drummer, and that's kind of
Okay.
how I segued into the drumming world, I would say. He gave me my first kind of informal lesson when I was like, I want to say like 7 or 8, pretty
Oh,
young. And
yeah, yeah.
he just gave me a pair of drumsticks and showed me how to hold them. And then after that, I got a practice pad and just kind of messed around on the practice pad.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, my mom is a rocker for sure. I'm named after Keith Richards,
Oh,
so
I see.
yeah, so she's a big Stones fan.
Okay.
Um,
You're
my
gonna live
cousin,
forever as well. I mean, just like Keith Richards. I mean, it's like almost like, it's like.
Yeah,
500 years old or something.
yeah, yeah. I also sleep upside down,
Yes.
hanging from the ceiling. So, my cousin Nick is also a drummer. So
Oh
yeah,
wow.
definitely a lot of music, a lot of drummers in the family.
Oh, that's
So,
brilliant.
so got
Yeah,
kind of lucky there. Yeah.
yeah. But I believe, I mean, when I was so like googling your name, I believe you started off as a singer, a front man in a
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
band. You weren't a drummer originally. Is that
No,
right?
originally I played bass and sang. Yeah, I yeah, like I was saying earlier, my first band was called The Victims, and we started when we were in middle school,
Yeah, yeah,
and we were just like, yeah, just loved punk and '80s hardcore, and just tried to play as fast as we could,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like 30-second songs, and yeah, played at the skate park or wherever we could. Um,
And
yeah, yeah.
that's the victims with a K.
With a K,
The,
yeah.
with a K, yeah,
And little do we know there already was a band, a band called The Victims with
yeah.
a K. So, but we were young, we were learning, we were like
Yeah.
12. So,
Well,
yeah.
you were given so like lessons by your uncle when you were only like a very very young kid. But what actually got you into proper sort of like drumming and wanting to become a drummer?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. I think I always like the drums, just from being in my family, were always kind of around. Um, and I think I was always kind of drumming on my lap, during just listening to the radio and stuff. And I remember my mom one time was just like, "Are you sure you don't want to play the drums? Like you're always
Oh,
drumming." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, maybe." And then I think when I was like 15, I asked for a drum kit, like for my birthday or Christmas or something. And I think my folks were like, they're very supportive, but I think they were like, "All right, here we go. We got a drum set in the house." um, but
yeah,
yeah, so after that, I just started playing drums, and I kind of like taught myself just by like imitating bands I liked, and like just trying to like play songs
yeah,
um,
yeah,
that I thought I could play, and a lot of Nirvana stuff at that time. I remember I was just like trying to imitate like
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl, like I would
Yeah,
have my cymbals up really high, and just like I was really into like having like really big drums, and like still kind of am, but I still kind of do keep my cymbals high, just kind of
yeah.
just as a homage.
Well, do you find that you're more comfortable playing the drums or playing bass? Because
Definitely
you
drums, yeah,
the drums, but it's
yeah,
like a big switch from being the front man to actually just going at the back, and then sometimes they don't see you.
right, yeah, yeah. It was funny because that first band I was kind of a de facto frontman because no one else wanted to do it.
Oh, I see.
So they were just like, "You should do it." Like, I don't want to. We don't want to sing. We were like too scared. So I was like, I don't really want to either, but okay, I will.
Yeah,
Um,
you didn't do
and
any
then yeah,
recordings,
yeah.
though, did you?
Sorry.
You didn't do any recordings with the victims. It's not like you've released. Did you release or like an album or a
We
single?
we did, but I think really only on like MySpace.
Oh, right.
So I
Yeah,
don't
that was
know if
yeah.
I still have some on my computer, but I don't think they're anywhere. I don't think you can really find any recordings anywhere. That was like
Oh,
before we knew about Bandcamp, or
oh,
I
I
think
see.
maybe before Bandcamp was a thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's some live videos on YouTube you can find, but
Of the
besides
victim.
that,
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, from that so like band, that was your very first band, The
Yeah,
Victims, with a K.
with a K. Yeah,
and then and then you were in the band called. I mean, I can see it now. It's Gremlin, isn't it? It's
Gremlin. Yeah, yeah.
GR, but it's spelled like GRMLN.
Right. No vowels.
No, yeah,
That's when it
and
was
they're all
cool.
caps, all
That's when it was
caps.
cool to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that also a punk band? And did you play drums in that, or?
I did play drums in that. Yeah. No, that was like kind of my first like indie rock band I was ever in. And that was actually with a friend who I've known since like first grade.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and we met because in high school after the Victims ended, I was in a band called the Richards, and we were like a kind of like a Cramps, kind of
Oh,
like a Cramps
really?
ripoff band, and
Yeah, yeah.
um, and our band and that band and his band in high school played some shows together. And then after high school, he was like, "Do you want to jam? I have this new like project called Gremlin, and I need a drummer." And I was like, "Sure, yeah, I'm down to jam." And then he was like, we were just like playing around, like playing some of his songs, and he's like, "All right, we gotta like get tight because like my record label wants to blah 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 do all this stuff." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, record label?" And that was kind of like my first band where we like had a record label and like did some cool stuff. Had some like cool opportunities.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But
and
this
yeah,
was your first band that you're actually a drummer, or did you play
second
drums?
band, second band.
Oh,
The
second
first band I was in that I played drums was the Richards, was the
band.
Cramps
Richard.
band.
Oh,
Cramps
that's so
kind of like
cute.
rockabilly,
Yeah, yeah,
punkabilly
yeah.
band.
And this is this, but you didn't do any sort of like recording with the Richards and until
We did, but also
oh, you
probably can't find that
did.
anymore. Besides like a cassette that I have.
Because
So
I mean, this is actually really good because you were in quite a lot of bands before the Umbrellas.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. I
and
think yeah, there was at one point when I was in like three or four bands at the same time.
at the same time.
Yeah,
Wow.
which I will never do again.
And these three bands, you're the drummer in those all of them, or
Yeah,
did you play
yeah.
other instrument in other in another band or something? No, it's a
That
drummer.
was that was definitely at the point when I was just playing drums.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
Is that
haven't I
how
haven't
you?
played anything else since the Victims.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that how you got established as a powerhouse drummer? Because every time there's like, every time there's an article about the Umbrellas, the one thing that you'll notice is it will always be something about a power. Oh, sorry about that. Because I live on the main road. I
Oh
always get
yeah. Oh, I thought that was me actually. There's always sirens by my house.
yeah, they always get this so like description of you as a powerhouse drummer.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I'll take it. um, yeah, I don't know. I think that's just because I like play really hard and loud. That's kind of what I'm like, powerhouse. I guess that's just because I hit really hard, maybe, which I like to
Well,
think. But yeah, I don't know. That's
do
yeah,
you
I'm
want
always
to just
loud.
do you want to just tell us more about just briefly about all the other bands that you were in? Because I know that
Yeah.
one of them, called Toyota,
Uh-huh.
that's actually the Umbrellas without Morgan.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
But there are other bands like Combo and
Yeah.
Stocko.
Uh-huh.
Stocko?
Stucco. Yeah.
Yeah, because these bands are actually on Discogs. So you've
Yeah.
obviously sort of like released so like material when you were when you were in this band. So
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So Toyota and Stucco started kind of around the same time, like when I first moved to San Francisco. And yeah, those were definitely like Stucco was definitely kind of like a straight ahead punk band. So that's I think like definitely where I like got kind of like just the really fast like punk
Yeah,
chops.
yeah.
Um, and then Toyota was more of like a like I always describe it as just like a more like it's like Devo but like more demented. And we like we like wore costumes and stuff, but and it was just like really like egg punk, and and the drums in that I was just really like was really liberating because I could kind of like get to do whatever I wanted and just be as crazy and like creative as I could.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
I,
yeah, so the umbrellas kind of formed out of the end of Toyota. Um,
it's a big switch, though, isn't it? Because
it
Umbrellas is
is,
more
yeah,
so like indie, like indie pop, and coming
yeah,
from
totally,
punk, like a punk band. So
yeah, definitely. Well, around that time, Nick and Matt really wanted to start like a something a little bit more something with a little bit more melody, and so yeah, we were at my house for a Fourth of July party, and we were doing karaoke, and Morgan started singing some karaoke, and I think we were like, we should just have Morgan sing, and so
oh, I see.
that's kind of how it started. But in the
Oh,
beginning of the Umbrellas, I didn't play drums. I played guitar actually.
oh, I see. Um,
Yeah, we
oh,
actually when we first started, we used a drum machine because I was really like I kind of want to play guitar in a band, you know. They all originally I think wanted me to play drums, but I was like, well, I've been playing drums for a while. I kind of want to play guitar. And so they're like, okay, like we'll use a drum machine, and you can play 12 string.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but after we recorded our first record, and I played drums on the record, and we were kind of just like, maybe I should just play drums.
You just,
Yeah, I was like, all right, I can
you're
see. I'll
probably
play drums.
born to play drums,
Yeah, yeah. I was just like, I
but
think
it's
I'll just be
incredible.
better at drums.
It's incredible how you started. So, like, just at a party in the Morgan, sort like doing a karaoke. And you just
Yeah,
saw,
I know. Well, Nick and Matt and I already had like that chemistry, like band chemistry. So that was pretty easy. And then Morgan at the time was had like just recently moved to San Francisco and was dating my old roommate at the time.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and so we quickly like all became friends, and yeah, it was pretty
And
easy.
was she already in? She was in a band at the time, or she just saw like,
No, no, the Umbrellas I think is her first like official
oh,
band. Yeah, yeah, which is a pretty
yeah,
like amazing because she's such a natural.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, um, well, you were talking about this sort of like party that you had, and then because
yeah,
according to Discogs, your house. I don't know if that's the house you're in now, but but
different
apparently
house. Yeah,
it's a different house. Apparently, it became like the hub for Bay Area bands. That must be so like exciting to have all these sort of like bands coming into your house and
definitely. Yeah, it was cool.
yeah,
Yeah, we did a lot of shows at my house. Um, and yeah, I love like hosting bands and having shows and like having a place for like touring bands to play.
yeah,
And we just did shows in my garage, and yeah, for a time, it was definitely like really a lot of fun, and like a lot of it was kind of like the meeting place for a while. It was just
yeah.
like, all right, like after we get off work, let's meet at Keith's house and like practice or like work on cassettes or whatever.
Oh, that's brilliant. What
Um,
about the neighbors though? did they did they
yeah, luckily
complain
my
about
neighbor
it?
Yeah, I know. Luckily, they were pretty cool with it. Um, yeah, my neighbors, to if you're looking at the house to the left of us, were like these this Russian family who were super cool and loved the music. And our
Yeah.
neighbor to the other side of us was this older guy who didn't mind and actually came to a show one time, and which was pretty funny. But yeah, it was pretty cool. There's one time when a neighbor came over and got kind of pissed at us, but besides
That's
that,
cool.
it was pretty easy going. The cops
Yeah.
came a couple times, but that was like the show was already over, and we were kind of just like, it's already over, you know. So they were like, okay, sounds cool, you know. Invite us next time. So yeah, it was pretty easy. It was pretty yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
this so there's also this I don't know if it's a record label or a musicians collective. It's called this Discontinuous Innovative Inc.
Yeah,
Is that
that
your own record label, or is that
that was kind of a label that me and Nick and other members of like Toyota and Stucco made just to kind of like release our own music.
oh, okay, yeah,
um, and then it was always mostly Nick, and now Nick is from the Umbrellas, who plays bass in the Umbrellas,
yeah, yeah.
is kind of the sole um, person who runs discontinuous innovation now.
Oh,
But he's still releasing stuff on cassette mostly.
yeah,
Um,
because he did Auto Campus cassettes, didn't he?
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
um,
So
yeah.
your
Yeah. We
house,
were just like, let's just start a label, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and that
and
was kind of like in an era when like a lot of like there was all these like Midwest like egg punk is what they call it, bands, and there's just like a ton of bands, and there's just like a lot of material to be released. So um, it ended up being like bigger than just our bands, which is cool. And yeah, Nick's still doing it, so check it
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and your house is like the headquarters of
it,
of
it
discontinuous.
it used to be. It used to be. Now it's just Nick's house. Now it's just Nick's
It's moved to next.
office. Yeah.
Oh, it's so it's still running, but Nick's the one who's actually so like organizing things and
Yeah.
releasing cassette tapes and
Yeah.
everything.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, so the umbrellas got together because of having a party, and then Morgan doing the karaoke and thing.
Yeah.
Um, but did you actually sort of like start, because coming from a punk band, when you got together, did you deliberately or sort of like consciously say we're gonna turn this into an indie pop sort of like band and not a punk band?
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty conscious. It was like, you know, we want to sound like heavenly and like all those like C86 bands.
Yeah,
It was definitely like deliberately kind of like going for a sound. Um, and I think our first record is definitely more. It's more apparent. I think in our first record. I think our latest one is like. I think we've definitely kind of like figured out our own little footprint.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but but yeah, it's definitely deliberate.
yeah. To so like, but it's still loud though. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I think as like we got more comfortable playing live, we just kind of like got noisier and louder.
yeah,
Um, and it kind of turned it almost like turned into like definitely being like this like indie pop thing to kind of being like this indie pop like punk amalgamation thing.
yeah,
So yeah,
Because you know, looking back to that gig in Manchester, March I think it was, um, I just realised now the three bands that actually performed. You're somewhat sort of like in the middle because Mumbles. I remember Mumbles being really, really loud. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I
And
don't know if you were
they were
there.
only a two piece, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
but it was like unbelievably loud. And then of course the second band, Oh Hippo,
yeah,
they're like I don't want to say typical indie pop, but they're quieter and so like
yeah,
you know
yeah. And they
easier
were
to
like an eight
behave.
piece band or something.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah,
loads of them,
yeah,
but then you're so like when the Umbrellas came, you're somewhat in the middle because it's not just a quiet indie, sweet indie pop song. They're actually quite loud as well, but not
yeah,
as loud as Mumbles.
yeah, yeah, totally. I remember feeling kind of the same way, just like, oh yeah, loud, quiet, quiet, loud. I guess maybe we're kind of like the baby of these two acts that we just followed or something.
Who actually sort of like put the lineup together? Was it your decision to get the support acts, or was it?
It was just like the promoters. We have a
Yeah,
booking agent. His name's Ruben, and he just like worked with all the local promoters, and they just kind of like sent us bands that they thought would be good, and we were just like, yeah, that sounds great for the most
yeah.
part. So
I,
yeah.
I haven't actually asked this, and because I often find, I mean, it's like, do you have like the main band? Do they have a say in who's supporting them?
Most of the time, yeah, yeah. I think it's mostly like opening bands will like get pitched to like the agent, and then their
Yeah.
agent will send those bands to the band. It's like, what do you guys think? Yay or nay? Um,
Okay.
yeah, or it's honestly as simple as like the headlining band reaching out to bands they know to play with,
All
or bands
right.
that they want to play with, or yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because it's just so like sometimes when when I go to a gig and then I saw like see the support, sometimes oh, did they choose the support band or is it just a
yeah,
promoter why it's sort of like get the support?
yeah. I feel like sometimes you can kind of tell. It's like these. I don't. This is a weird lineup. Yeah, this is not up to the bands. This is not their doing. I think. Yeah, but other times it's like, oh yeah, these bands are like friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I just thought maybe that's sort of like a combination of Mumbles and the old hippo, and then you in the between. At least it's sort of like it prepared the audience. So like
right,
having a loud one and so a quiet one.
right, right.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
when are you coming back? When are you coming back to the UK?
I don't know. Hopefully next year. Hopefully next year. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're trying to release a record by like late spring, early summer next year. So hopefully we can get back there and be able to like tour on it because we love the UK. It's so much fun.
yeah, because I think I mentioned earlier that San Francisco's always been sort of like a brilliant sort of music city and stuff.
Hmm.
But apparently, it's got this pop scene at the moment
Yeah,
in San Francisco. With the umbrellas and the reds, pinks, and purples. I
yeah.
actually went to see them again because of my colleague Mike, who told me that.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah.
You've got to see them, and I've got to say that when I saw him at the gig, he was wearing the umbrellas t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I think that's why what's his name, Glenn
Uh-huh.
from
From Red Pinks and
The
Purples,
Red
yeah.
Space. Yeah, I think that's the reason why Glenn actually went up to him and so sure.
Oh, nice.
And
Cool.
yeah, and Chime School as well, because Chime School they're playing in Manchester in October, I believe. So
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So is this like a
I
music?
just saw Andy from Chime School. We played a show on Friday, and I just saw him there. Yeah, they're on Slumberland as well. Chime School,
Yeah, yeah.
Slumberland
So
Records.
is
Yeah.
this like a new like a scene in a music scene in San Francisco with sort of like the three
Mm,
bands being the biggest bands put in this sort of like music scene at the moment?
Um, I would say that like our bands are definitely definitely more current. You know, like, but I feel like the indie pop scene has always been kind of floating around San Francisco, the Bay Area. Um, there's been bands like the Eisler Set, you know, kind of like late '90s, early 2000s, and then I feel like Slumberland's always been kind of putting out some Bay Area bands like Terry Maltz. I feel like it's
Okay.
always been kind of an undercurrent of like the indie pop thing. But I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like actually, really, when our scene kind of took off was like during COVID or like right after COVID, like when things started to open up.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like there's this weird. It was just like everything kind of coalesced like perfectly. Like all
Yeah,
these bands were kind of starting at the same time.
yeah, yeah.
um, and I don't think it was like it wasn't like you're starting an indie pop band. I think we'll start an indie pop band. It was just like we're you know no band sounds the same is what I'll say, but it's all kind of it all works together really fluidly and
Yeah.
cohesively, and I think it really it just yeah there's something like really special that kind of came out of the lockdown. I think everyone was just
Yeah.
kind of like chilled out, started a pop project. So
Is there
yeah,
like a San Francisco Pop Festival, or because like the New York? I think there's a New York Pop Festival that's been sort of like. So is there one in San Francisco as well?
there was one in Oakland um, recently, but not one in San Francisco. I think we've actually been talking about trying to like put one together, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
Um, but there was kind of an Oakland one that we played a couple years ago that was really fun.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm sure if there's one, especially with the umbrellas and the reds, pinks, and purples, I'm sure my
yeah,
colleagues will go there.
that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah, I know. We always want to like put on shows in cool places. There's so many cool places to do shows. We were talking about that, doing that in this one area in Golden Gate Park. Um, so it's kind of an idea that's been floating around for a sec, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe we'll pull the trigger soon and just do it.
So are you still gigging at the umbrellas, or are you sort of like having a rest at the moment?
We played a show last weekend or on Friday, this last Friday. Um, but I think until October, I think we're taking September off and just kind of taking it easy and might do a
Yeah,
little recording. But
yeah.
in October, we're opening for Heavenly here in San Francisco, which will be really fun and
Oh wow.
really amazing. Can't wait.
Oh,
But until
fantastic.
then, I think we're gonna just chill.
Yeah, yeah. Is
Yeah,
there going to be a third album soon, or?
yeah. I think we're trying
Yeah.
to release it next year, definitely, like springtime, summertime
Oh, okay. Yeah.
next year. Um, but yeah, we're just kind of working on some new songs and
Yeah.
just kind of coming off of a lot of touring.
Well, when you're not playing drums in the umbrellas, you're also doing solo stuff as well.
Yeah, a
'Cause-
little. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and
I
it's
haven't
not
for a
just
while.
one.
It's until
It's
recently.
not just one sort of like uh, band or name. There's actually loads. that according to Discogs, there's
Yeah,
like Houston in the Problems, Loose
yeah.
Change,
Loose
Robes of
change.
Sorrow.
Yeah, a lot of those are just like I recorded like two songs and like just put them out as like a band. Yeah, Robes of Sorrow is like my death rock band.
Oh, is this all these are like different types of music, different sort of like genre. So
Yeah,
that's why you
yeah,
can't sort of like put them all in just one band. Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
why?
yeah. Lately, it's just been like I've just been writing songs just like under my name, though. I haven't
Yeah.
done the Mysterioso band in a while, but yeah, yeah, I record some of my own stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And do you play gigs solo?
I never have. No, I never have. I've always kind of wanted to, but also been kind of scared to. But maybe
Oh,
next year will be the year that I go for it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because there's also Keith Ivo or Evo, Keith
Ivo.
Ivo,
Yeah, that's my middle
Ivo.
name, and it's just
Oh, I
kind
see.
of easier to pronounce than Frerichs, which is my
Frerichs.
last name, which is why I go under my uh, stage name, Keith Ivel. Yeah, which is my middle name, but yeah,
Oh, it's funny. Maybe so. Like you can open for the Umbrellas or something. So do you play
yeah.
drums in this, or do you play guitar and sing?
I do everything. I like
You do
record guitar, bass, drums, vocals for that. Yeah. So I would have to get a band together. So maybe the Umbrellas, maybe they can be my backing band, opening for the Umbrellas.
Yeah. That's gonna be really good. It's it's good to have so like the umbrellas. So like
Yeah,
before the umbrellas gig,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
so like backing you. So
yeah. It'll be Keith and the Parasols or something.
well, you mentioned earlier because we were gonna so like I said, we always do ask the drummer on a Sunday, but because you work uh on at weekends, and
Yeah,
you mentioned that you work in a restaurant.
yeah, yeah. It's like a pizza place at night, and then during in the morning we do bagels. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
wow!
like a server there. Yeah, it's
Do
cool.
you
Yeah,
get
the food is really great.
yeah? Do you get
Yeah.
recognized?
A few times, yeah, it has happened a few times. Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I'll get recognized like from working at the restaurant, and then sometimes I'll get recognized at the restaurant for the umbrellas.
Oh, is
So
it?
it kind of helps each other, yeah, each aspect of my life a little bit, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And do you get so like fans? I mean, obviously it's not from being recognized as, in the rest working in the restaurant.
Uh
They
huh.
wouldn't want to ask for a photograph of you. So like if they but being recognized, say, while you're out and they recognize you as the drummer of the Umbrellas. Do you get
Yes.
fans or like asking for photographs or your signature?
Um, o- Occasionally, I feel like I'll take photos with people like at a show or something, but I feel like if it's just on the street or like at my work, you'll just be like, "Hey, aren't you in like that band, the Umbrellas or something?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be like, "Yeah, yeah." And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I saw you guys." Blah blah. Blah. It's yeah. I don't think we're not famous enough to
For
just random
photograph?
people like taking photos of us, but
But how do you feel, so like generally speaking, about so like me asking for a photograph with you?
yeah.
Are you okay with that, or
Oh, totally. I'm. It's always so like you know, it's I never take it for granted. It's always so I love it. Yeah, it's great. It's like, oh wow, I'm doing something. I'm doing is actually like meaning something to someone. You know, it means
Yeah,
a lot to me when someone
yeah,
asks
because
for like a autograph or a photo or
yeah.
something. Yeah, I'm kind of like, why me? You know, I'm like I just like to play
Oh,
drums. You know, so it's always super cool. Yeah,
but has it ever happened that, because I know that sometimes it gets really tiring, if you're playing and especially the way you play, you're so like really
yeah,
energetic and everything, and then
yeah,
you have to sort of like pack your things and get all your gear ready, and
yeah.
then the fan will go up to you and say, "Oh, can I have a photograph?" And then you just feel a bit so like, oh, can you just so like that? Have you ever felt that before, or
Not
not
really.
really?
I think that like if someone wants to talk or like meet me, I feel like that's always the way more important than like packing up my drums. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that stuff can wait. You know, if the sound guy's getting pissed at me, it's like you know, just he can deal with it. You know, like this is so much more important. So
Well, do
yeah,
you
I
get
definitely will do that over packing up my drums any day.
yeah? Well, do you get starstruck yourself?
Totally. Yeah, of course.
Do you? You do?
Yeah, yeah.
Like who? I mean, you saw like who have you asked for a photograph recently? Or-
I feel like the last person I got a picture with was Amelia from Heavenly.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, she's lovely, isn't she? It was like,
Oh, so nice. Yeah. Um, but before that, I used to work at a music venue in San Francisco called the Chapel, where I got to meet a lot of really cool people. I got to meet like Charles Bradley and like John Lydon and stuff. You know,
oh,
just really
right,
like cool like big deal people, and it was
yeah,
I definitely yeah. There's some people where I'm like, whoa, you're like on a different plane, you know, like you like float, you know. So
and
I definitely
yeah.
get starstruck. Yeah,
Oh, that's brilliant. I just think
yeah,
that, any musician or who also gets starstruck is like, they're real. They're being real. I mean,
oh totally.
sometimes you feel like, as a musician, oh no, we're way too cool to be starstruck.
Oh no way. Yeah, I feel like
it's,
anyone who says that is totally lying.
it's yeah, it's good that you're still so like you see someone, it's like, oh my god, it's Amelia from Heavenly.
Yeah, it's like whoa, that's like the whole reason we started this band, you know. So yeah, it's cool, definitely.
Yeah. Well, this is so like an unusual question, but I found this on the internet.
Yeah, okay. Hmm.
um, is it true that you have a 7-step skincare routine? It's like-
7-step skincare routine. No, definitely not. I mean, you know, I use lotion and sunscreen, but besides that,
no,
no, definitely not 7 steps. There's like one or two.
but you so like drink a lot of water and have your 8 hours sleep.
I try. Yeah.
Because I mean, it's so like rock stars don't get sleep. They don't get enough sleep.
On tour, I think on tour, I definitely like. It's weird. I almost try to take better care of myself on tour because it's so hard to, you know. You're like definitely more conscious of it. Still not 7 steps though.
So like so thinking maybe that's the reason why you look so young, because you've got this 7-step skincare routine.
I just shaved, you know, so
I've got to ask what this.
yeah. I just shaved, so it takes a few years off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, right. This I always ask these questions before I let the drummer go.
Yeah, yeah.
First, there's the regular ones. I mean, first of all, as a powerhouse drummer, do you twirl? Do you? Do you?
Twirl.
Do, yeah.
Um, it's so funny that you asked that because on Friday during our show, I never do during like a set, but there was kind of like a break in a song, like right before I started playing again, and I like found myself doing that, and I don't know why I've like never done that before during a show. I don't think maybe I have, but it was definitely something I noticed. I was like, "Whoa, what did I just do that?" um,
Subconsciously.
subconsciously, yeah. I think we were all just being kind of like goofy at that show too, so maybe I was just kind of like,
Oh, so
yeah,
it's not something that you do a lot, because I think that's really
no,
good though. If there's like a gap between, so like, before you actually hit the drum, I always find it so like really nice for the drummer to do this, so like
yeah.
twirling, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. I think for me, I'm always scared I'm gonna drop my drumstick or something. But you know who's really good at that is Michael from the Lemon Twigs.
All
When
right.
he's playing drums, he's always doing these crazy not acrobatic, but drum twirling moves, and it's super
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Well, I know that Kevin from A Flock of Seagulls.
Mm,
He's like, of all the sort of like drummers I've seen live, he's
yeah.
the best twirler ever. Because it's like
Okay.
like everything before hitting the skin, the drum, it's like
Uh-huh.
twirl, drop, twirl.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely amazing. And I always
Yeah.
think that, it's, I mean, I know that drummers are just so like at the back, and they shouldn't really so like do a lot of tricks, but it's part of, it's a showmanship, isn't it? It's like
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
so do
Definitely.
you think you'll be doing more of it from now on?
Well, shoot, maybe I'll have to. Yeah. The people like it.
Yeah.
If that's what they
Oh,
demand, then I'll try.
what do you think about so like getting? Because I've seen clips from like in, I don't want to say in the old days, but before they had the drummer so like at the front.
Hmm.
Like there are some shows where the drummer is instead of at the back, they have the
Oh yeah.
drummers like. Do you think that's something that maybe the Umbrellas would like to do, to have you at the front? And
There's been a couple times when we've kind of done that just because like the stage has been set up in such a way that like it would be better to do that or it would just look kind of cool. We've done that a couple times.
oh,
Um, but maybe, yeah. I mean, one of my favorite bands ever, they're called Deerhoof. Um, Greg Saunier, the drummer for that band, is like one of the one of my favorite drummers of all time, and he plays at the front. They all kind of just play in like a straight line across the front of the stage, which is
all
super
right,
cool. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think that'd be super fun. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it for me. It's like if the actual physical stage permits, then it's kind of like maybe we should let's do it. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice though, because they're like sometimes they just, and then when the lighting is not very good,
Right.
you can
Right.
hardly see them. It's almost like,
Yeah.
you can hear them. You can hear the drumming parts and the drum bits, but you can't
Yeah.
see who's actually playing it.
Right. Right. I know. I know. Sometimes there's a lighting person who appreciates the drummer a little bit more. So
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
And then sometimes they're just so like total darkness in the where the
I
drummer
know.
is, and then the others are all like
I know. Sometimes
spotlight.
after a show, I'll be like, "Oh man, what a great show!" And then I'll see pictures from it. I'll be like, "Great." Thanks a lot. Yeah, can't even. Yeah, all right. You know.
Well, what about drumming heroes? Because you mentioned so like is it Deerhoof's drummer.
Yeah, yeah. He's one of my
Who are,
favorites.
yeah. Do you have any other sort of like drumming heroes?
Dave Grohl, definitely. Um, um, I guess I got to shout out my uncle Andy. You know.
Yeah, the one who
um,
taught you, yeah, when you were a kid, yeah. He
yeah,
gave you
definitely.
lessons. Yeah.
Um, lately, I've just been listening to like the Sundays like nonstop. I'm blanking on his name, but he's a great drummer. Um, um, he just throws in some like really cool. I love how he creates like hooks with his drums instead of just playing like a beat. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So those are definitely like some of my drumming heroes for sure.
Have you met Dave Grohl yet?
No, I've never met him. I've never met
No,
him. No, I would love to. I've met Greg Saunier from Deerhoof a couple times, but um, never met Dave Grohl.
no. He doesn't play drums anymore now, too, does he? I mean, he's more so like just
He's doing the
being
Foo
the front
Fighters thing, yeah. But
man.
yeah, I think every once in a while he'll like at a
He'll
Foo
still
Fighters show like play drums. But I'm definitely more of a Nirvana fan than a Foo Fighters fan.
yeah, I think yeah,
You know,
I'm sort of like Nirvana, yeah.
yeah.
What about disasters? Because you've been playing drums for a long time now. Because I really thought you were just like a young kid or like a young
Yeah.
drummer. I started with the Umbrellas, but you've actually
Yeah.
done loads. You were in loads of bands before the
Yeah.
Umbrellas. So
Yeah.
have you ever had any drumming disasters? Like, have you ever sort of like fallen off the drum stool?
Yeah. Yeah, I think definitely um one time I like fell. I didn't fall completely off the stage, but I fell like my throne kind of fell, and I kind of like had to catch myself. So I almost fell off the stage one time. Um, Cymbals have definitely fallen off the stand before. Um, I feel like sometimes I'll have a problem with like my floor tom, just I won't tighten the leg tight enough, and it'll just collapse. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, don't have a floor tom anymore. Um, but sometimes, that makes it more interesting or more fun.
Yeah.
In Toyota, I like would create disasters on purpose just to like I would use
Really?
like hi hat cymbals as like my crash. I don't know, just weird stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like do you ever get frustrated? Because I went to a gig last Friday, and I saw a band. The drummer was sort of like having problems with his sort of like kit. It kept sort of like falling, so
Uh huh.
obviously it wasn't so like tight and enough.
Yeah.
And I think he was getting really frustrated. He just saw, like, he just saw, because it
Like threw
must
it down.
be. How do you deal with sort of like things like that, especially if you're
Yeah.
like I mean the show must go on, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's just like, well, just I don't know, figure it out, improvise.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. What happens to me a lot actually is because I really like kick my kick drum really hard, and so a lot of the times my bass drum will just like scooch away from me.
yeah, yeah,
That's kind of like a common problem that I have. And whenever a venue has like a cinder block laying around, I'll definitely take advantage and throw that in front of the bass drum.
yeah. But
Um,
it just needs a really good rug, isn't it? Like a carpet to
yeah,
keep.
totally, totally. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because I have seen that loads of times. So like
yeah,
it's like running away, and then they
totally.
have to constantly pull it back.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot. Yeah, it's a common problem. definitely.
Yeah,
But I think
yeah,
you just have to have like good legs on your kick drum, and yeah, just a solid drum rug.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're doing so like a gig with not just you but other bands as well, especially if it's like a festival with loads of different bands playing and there's only like one drum kit.
Yeah.
How do you so like if you're the headliners?
Hmm.
Is it always the headliners kit that's being set up, or is it uh, someone else?
Um, I think most of the time that's kind of the situation, um, but not always. Um, yeah, I mean, whenever we headline, I always offer
Yeah,
to
yeah,
use my drums. Um, I feel like I have a pretty standard setup, and I kind of usually just like let people know like if you want to bring like an extra cymbal stand, I only have two, so just kind of like communicating in that way.
yeah. And you're
Yeah,
okay sharing your drum kit with other drummers?
yeah, yeah. I usually just kind of like preface it with like, you know, and I think most drummers know this, but there's been instances that, you know, people have like retuned my drums and stuff, which is super annoying to me. So I
Oh,
usually, if people are like borrowing my drums, I'm just like, yeah, just keep them, just don't tune them, any different, and like it's all good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's only I mean, see the thing about tuning drums, that's something that I've only discovered recently because I
yeah,
didn't even know that you could actually tune them.
yeah. I mean, same. I've only recently kind of figured it out.
Yeah,
Before I was kind of just like twisting until it sounded good, which is kind of like honestly how you do it. Everyone will say like, "Oh yeah, you tuned to A," and I mean you can't do that, but like tune to a note or something. But I don't know.
oh,
Like people have asked me like how do you tune your drums? I'm just kind of like, well, just like until I like how it sounds, you know. That's it. I don't know. There's a lot of tricks and tips, but
yeah. It's because you know
yeah,
with the guitar, it's actually the way the guitarists tune their guitars.
yeah,
There is like a standard way of doing it, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
but with the drum, I mean, how do you tune a drum? It's like, how do you tune?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Well, so we were recording a song. Matt and I were recording drums recently for a new song, and I was like, the drums actually sound kind of weird with this song, and so I actually kind of like tried to tune the drums to the song. And I feel like that's kind of the only instance where I'll like retune my drums is to like if we're recording and kind of like just match the note of kind of like the main note of the song or like the root note or whatever you want to call it of the song.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but most of the time it's kind of just like if it sounds oh yeah I got it sounds good, just not gonna touch it, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's fascinating the sort like the process of making or recording a song and actually
yeah,
because as a fan you just sort of like hear it as a finished product, but
yeah,
the
totally.
process of actually sort of like making it before it gets released, um
Yeah.
because sometimes it's like whoever writes the song, um do they already have everything? Like, do they already have the drum parts and do they have the guitar bits? And if there's a piano, there are piano bits, or is it
Yeah.
just like a song lyrics and then you as a drummer do the drum parts?
Yeah. It's kind of I feel like every song is different and like everyone has a different kind of method, but for us, a lot of the times someone will come to practice with like most of a song written for the most part, yeah, someone will come with like most of a song written
Yeah.
and maybe like an idea for how the drums should go, and I'll just kind of like base the drums off that and kind of like throw in my own flair, you know. Um, but yeah, recording, it's like there's kind of like an unspoken like like as far as recording drums, like, you know, like not too many fills, just kind of like serving the purpose, serving the song, and
Yeah.
but late, you know, I've been, I don't know, I'm kind of in that way of thinking, but also kind of like, to me, some there's certain fills that are part of the song too, like part of the drums. So
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
record, I'll like want those on the recordings. So yeah, I don't know.
But when
It's
you
kind of all different.
when it's you who writes the song, do you start with the drum part first, or
Um,
how does
yeah,
it go?
I'll usually start with a for my own songs. I'll usually just start with like start on guitar, and then I'll kind of like, just because it's just me, and if
Yeah.
I, because sometimes in a band setting, I'll like we'll just kind of be jamming, and I'll just like playing some beat, and then someone will kind of play something on top of that, and then like a song forms, and then that'll be kind of like how the song started.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think when people are writing songs by themselves, most of, at least in like a band guitar band setting, it'll start with like a like
With the
riff,
guitar.
you
Yeah.
know, or
Yeah. Yeah.
something. Yeah.
But is it unusual to sort of like write a song with the drum part? No. Does it ever happen? Does it happen to someone like
I, I think for the umbrellas, yeah. I think for the
yeah.
umbrellas, it would be unusual, but not not out of the realm of possibility. I'll say.
No, I just so like because I mean I do love music and I love so like of course I love bands and everything, but it's fascinating finding out about how do they even make it, you know, how do they like
Yeah,
all these like say four people they just sort of like
totally.
get together and then they come up with this amazing so like music. I mean if you're a
Yeah,
non-musician you just it just sort of like goes to me. It was like, oh my god, yeah, it's
yeah,
unbelievable.
right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like even to me, it's like, how did we do that? That's crazy. This is weird. It's like, but yeah, I feel like our band is pretty democratic, and we're always kind of like just throwing ideas out and like seeing what sticks and what doesn't. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but I think an important what I look for in a band is like is like every member of the band is like contributing to something. Like if one person in this band is not here, then it like won't be the same band.
yeah,
And
yeah,
those are
yeah,
like all my favorite bands. Yeah,
yeah. So everyone sort of like got their say in every
yeah,
song that's released. So that's very good. Well, I've only got one
yeah.
last question to you now because I know it's
Okay,
over an hour now. What would be your advice to aspiring drummers or musicians in general?
yeah. Just play as much as you can and play with like as many people as you can. And I would say like don't pigeonhole yourself into one kind of genre or music. Just do it all if you like it. You know, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. Um, and
What do you have a guilty? Do you have a guilty pleasure or something like disco? Was it?
no way. I think if like, you know, Taylor Swift wanted me to play drums in her band, I totally would.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, it's a challenge yourself, I would say.
yeah. Challenge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, challenge
Yeah.
yourself. I've just saw like looking at all these wall the things that you've got there on your wall. I mean, you're
Yeah.
a cat fan. You like
What's that?
cats. You like cats.
Oh yeah, this is all my girlfriend. Most of the stuff is my girlfriend's
Oh right.
collection. But yeah, we have a couple cats.
Yeah.
They're on the couch right now sleeping. But yeah, we got a lot of toys and knickknacks and stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, have a great gig with Heavenly.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
is it next week? You said, or is it next
That's
or
not till October.
October? Yeah,
October 19th at Rickshaw Stop in San Francisco.
yeah. That would be brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
Amelia and Rob, they're absolutely amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing couple.
Yeah.
And look forward to the Umbrellas coming back to the UK.
Yeah. Me too.
Hopefully, um, you'll be touring your third album
Yeah.
next year or something.
Yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Keith. Really, really appreciate you so like coming on
Yeah.
after from early morning. I hope you've
Thank
had your
you.
breakfast.
Yeah. Thank you for having a whole podcast dedicated to drumming. It's awesome.
No,
Yeah.
so, I really love drummers. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I mean, I always think it's like I know it's not what's his name from Primal Scream, but anyways, apparently it was Joe Strummer who said that a band is only as good as its drummer.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
agree. I would agree.
Hey,
I have
agree.
to agree.
Yeah. Oh, that's why. Yeah, yeah. I wish I could play the drums, but because that's why whenever I saw like send a message to drummers, I always say there's no technical questions because I don't know anything about about the drums.
I would say anyone can play. Like, I, that sounds cheesy, but the music is just there and it's just waiting to be played. So yeah, play the drums. Yeah, totally. Anyone should play the drums. More people need to play drums. So
Oh, I did try it, but I think I was more just too self conscious and
yeah,
you know.
I know I get it. I totally get it. But you can do it. You can totally do it.
Oh, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe I will try it again. Give it another
definitely,
go.
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Keith, and
Yeah,
have a
thank
lovely
you.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
too.
Monday today, so yeah, and hope to see you again in the
Yeah,
umbrella soon.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
All
All right.
right.
See ya.
See you
Bye.
later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us live. That was so good. I really enjoyed having Keith on the show. Uh, Again, apologies if we started a bit later because we've had a bit of a sort of like, I mean, it's my part. It's like there's something wrong with my Yahoo email, but we sorted it out, so it's okay. Thanks again to Keith Frerichs or Keith Ivel. As is so like solo stuff of the umbrellas. And if you haven't seen them live, you've got to go and see them. I mean, my colleague is, like I said earlier, he's a big fan, and now I know why he's. I mean, when it comes to indie pop, I mean, Mike from King B Records, he knows his stuff. So if he tells me to sort of like go and see a band, I will go and see a band. And I'm really glad I did go and see the umbrellas because they're absolutely amazing. But anyways, thank you so much once again. I'll be back next week, and no, not next week. It's actually going to be this coming Sunday that I'll be back, our usual time slot, and we're going to have another amazing drummer next this Sunday. No, next I keep saying next week or this Sunday. So hope you'll join us again. But for now, have a lovely week, everyone, and see you all again on Sunday. And as always, love music, love life, love drummers. They're absolutely amazing. They're the coolest people on this planet. So, yeah, hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now. Bye.